Take a moment to come to center. Find your center. Establish your center in your spine, in your breath, in your cells, in your mind. Come deeply into center, stable, grounded, and ease. Relax, not tense. To be at center is to be at home. When you're at home, you feel relaxed. You feel at ease. So be at home within yourself. To be at home within yourself, you don't need to know anything about the past or future. It's not an idea or a word that can be defined. To be yourself without knowing. To be at home without knowing what that means, what that is, who am I? Simply to be at home. We begin chanting Om together 3 times. Inhale deeply. Be still. Be quiet. Be very quiet. Inside. Just for a moment. Be very still inside. This is not a talk. We don't need the words. We only need to remove the questions so we can rest in the peace. We can rest in the silence. As long as there are thoughts in the mind, impossible to be present, impossible for peace. So the talk is for removing the words so we can rest in the silence. So if you can immediately rest in the silence, in the space between the words, even better. Where is the goal of life? Where is the goal of life? We can say that life is in many ways like a sport, like playing a sport. If your friend invites you to play a game of football you haven't played in many years, and you go to play, you're out of shape, and the game starts, and all of a sudden you get pain, shooting pain, and your legs can't carry you, you can't kick the ball properly, and it feels like a torture, like a misery. But the other people are playing, they're smiling, and they're enjoying themselves very much. So what's the difference? The game is the same. And so the only difference is in shape or out of shape. And so when we're in shape, it's a joy. It's a great joy to play. In the same way, when we're in shape, life is a celebration. When we're out of shape, it becomes a kind of torture, a hell. And so this is why we recommend taking a little time each day to train, like a sports player trains the basic drills and exercise to attain that effortless mastery at a foundational level. At first it's difficult to dribble the basketball. You pick up a basketball and you try to dribble and you can't bounce it at all. It's bouncing out of your hands, falling all over. You can't control it. So what to do? You should study about aerodynamics and all these things, or you just pick up the ball and dribble the ball. Again, eventually somehow, there's learning going on and it becomes more natural, and then you can control very much and move with the ball, everything. And then you never think about it again. It just happens automatically. In the same way, how to be present, how to breathe, how to properly hold your biology so that it's not all jumbled up. Right? These are habits. How to be in the flow. Right? All these basic functions of life, if we take a little bit of time to train, then for sure, just like the sports player, right? If we warm up before we play and we have a basic training, then it becomes so much like more effortless, the flow of daily life. And so from this point of view, we recommend taking a little time each day to train, to stay in shape, to awaken your body, heart, and mind, to integrate your body, heart, and mind, and experience this wholeness within yourself, this love within yourself, the presence, the nature, the peace. Because that will carry with you through the whole day. That tuning. And it's important that we understand, if this is a game, it's important we understand the rules. Because if we don't understand properly, we could be making a mistake. For example, I grew up playing baseball, but if you were to put me on a cricket field, I wouldn't know which way to go. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know where the goal is. And so my whole approach would be off. My technique, my approach, everything. And so the question is, where is the goal of life? Is it seems there's only two places, here and there. Right? There's here and then there's there. There is the past and future, and here is now. And so in general, it would seem that the goal of life is over there. From when we were young, we were always told, just around the corner, you try hard enough, you go, you're gonna get there, it's over there. And in the future or in the past, right? The future and past are the same, actually. We look in a moment. But the idea that the goal is over there, this has some consequences on our relationship with here and now. Because here and now becomes a kind of sacrifice to get there. Right? The focus is there. And so it's a kind of pushing and huffing, and here is just a stepping stone. Here is not the point. Here is just a way of getting there, and our attention is there. Also, there means that here is not good enough, right? By default, if I need to get there, if there is better, when I'll learn this and do this and change this and fix this, it's over there. I'll be happy over there. Then that means that now that's the ideal. And so what is never good enough, can never be good enough. It can never match the ideal. So we're choosing an ideal, a false form of self, some projected mind idea about something that will be better over what is, and thus making what is wrong and making right some kind of idea, fantasy in the future. And then all the energy goes towards that, and here is kind of falls by the side. And so it would seem that no amount of making ourselves wrong here and now will help us to be ourselves then and there, down the road. It's only by being yourself here and now that you'll be yourself then and there. Okay? And so, in addition, the idea that the goal is over there, this puts us in a position where even if we reach that, whatever idea in our mind, and life will never exactly match our idea. It can't, impossible. And so even if we reach there, we don't know how to be here. We only know how to be there. So we're reaching for the next there. We set these challenges for ourselves and we prove ourselves, oh, I can do it. And then that's success. But what we're doing is sacrificing the here and now for the then and there, but it never comes. It always keeps receding because we don't know how to be here. So even if you make it, you're still pushing into there. It's still over there. The goal is over there. Myself, my real self, my better self, everything is somehow over there. And so here gets lost. And so this is why in the path of yoga we say it's radical. The goal is not over there. The goal is here. You can only be yourself here and now. You can never be this idea of yourself in the future. You'll never be that idea. And so this idea of success is robbing us of the beauty of life because you can only smile here and now. You can only dance here and now. You can only laugh here and now. You can't laugh in the future. And so, to be at home in yourself, to give yourself permission to be yourself without knowing who yourself is. You can't know. Impossible to know who you are. You're not a definition, a category, a group of ideas or stories. This is a tiny fragment. We choose a little piece of myself, but yourself is infinite, like the garden. You have infinite layers, dimensions every moment. And so, what is yourself? You can't know that. You can be it. And so to be yourself is to know yourself. This is like a spontaneous, natural, like all of life. The trees, the grass, the grasshoppers, perfectly being themselves, perfectly in the flow, in the rhythm. To be yourself means to be in rhythm, to be in the flow. When you're being yourself, you're not thinking about yourself. Obsessing, who am I, what should I do, what should I, because you're so in the flow, you're so naturally yourself that you don't have to think all the time about yourself. Only when you're not thinking about yourself can you be yourself. So this is a very radical approach because we've been told that we have to think our way there. We're going to think our way. But has anyone thought their way to love, to real love, to lasting love or peace or happiness? Never. And so, the idea we have about happiness is not happiness. Happiness, we think happiness is getting what you want. But this is actually not happiness, it's a kind of intoxication. It's a momentary high, like sugar. When you eat sugar, you feel excited. So you get what you want. You want something, a person, something, whatever it is. Then you get you're in that moment. You have a momentary rush, a kind of excitement, and then it goes down. And so this isn't happiness. Happiness is different. Happiness is like after you eat the meal, then you're no longer hungry. You're full. You're content. Nothing is missing. You have a feeling nothing is missing. A kind of contentment, a peace. Not a momentary high, but a depth, a presence, a peace, of being at home in yourself. So to be at home in yourself is to love yourself. You don't need to write like love letters and cards and poems and just to be at home just to be in yourself. Without thinking, this is the ultimate act of love. Then you become like a sun shining your love within you, all around you. You don't have to know it. You can't know it. You can't know what that is. You can be love, but you can't know it. You can be peace. But what is knowing? We just want to control. We want to control. So peace is not a rule. No, it's a vibration. It's a quality of vibration. Same with love. It's not a set of rules. Act like this, do this, say this, give me this. Okay, now it's love. Love is a vibration. Love, the vibration of love is everywhere. Feel it in the forest. Feel it in the river. Feel it in the fire. No, very tricky with humans. First, we have to experience this love, peace, beauty, gratitude with the nature, where it's very pure. And then once we know that vibration, once we know that quality, then we can apply with other humans, with our family, with our loved ones. So, to be yourself is not thinking. There's a kind of inner compass and inner tuning. Then when that locks in, when you're in tune, then automatically all your actions and words and thoughts come from that place of in-tuneness. But if at the core level, it's this tension, frustration, fear, like this, then all the words and actions and thoughts coming from that place. And so this is why the yoga is this tuning that core vibration in your breath, in your nervous system, in your cells, in your blood. And then be in tune, that's it. It's so simple. You don't have to do a million things and learn this and go that and do all these complicated things to be yourself. In fact, you're always already yourself, fully, perfectly, 100%. And if you're not yourself, then no amount of doing and trying and going will bring you to that. If you're not already that, then nothing that you do will bring you there. So it should be good news. You can already be yourself. Of course, many things will happen in life, but it's not, we don't have to force and figure it out and have the map. Just to be in tune. Be in tune with yourself, and then dance with life. Dance with the moment. Because the present, the past, and the future are false. No past, no future. Because your idea of your past, you're the only one who has that idea of the whole construct, whatever parts of the universe that you know and of yourself that you could put together in your mind, even the people in your house, anyone, even you between now and 5 years ago, completely different past. Your past is completely editing these little pieces and you build a story, but it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little nothing of the entirety of this totality. So the past, the real past is the total of everything everywhere, but that's not what we're talking about. In our mind is just a little story, and everybody has their own fantasy story about the past. No one is shared, nothing at all. Same for the future. Future is the same. Future is just a prediction based on calculations from the past. Based on calculations and approximation from the past, we call it the future. Again, you're constructing your own future. The whole universe in your mind is in the future. You're the only one who has that in your mind. So is that real? Can we find fulfillment in our mind in the future? It's like in a dream. It's the same as a dream. So whatever you do in the dream, you win all the awards, everything, right? It won't bring you fulfillment. Proving yourself. All we do is continue just proving ourselves. So just be yourself. Everything else will happen naturally. To be yourself, you have to be quiet. Very, very quiet. You have to listen very, very carefully. Listen to the space. Don't listen to your mind. You have to ignore your mind for just a little bit. Each day, completely ignore your mind. Like someone speaking in a foreign language. Like a spoiled, bratty child that's whining, complaining, you ignore. Like a TV on in the other room, you're not interested, you ignore. Ignore your mind. Pay attention to the vibration, the rhythm, the breathing. As you slow down, you can dissolve your body, dissolve your mind. Marinating in your own juices. Through the practice, you're building the power, your inside power. In your spine, in your breath, in your eyes, in your heart. So many powers. We recommend a 100-day challenge. When you leave, continue for 100 days with the basic tuning practice. Right? The recommendation that we give is 2%. 2% is 30 minutes. Right? You do the spinal sequence, the breathing, and meditation. This is 30 minutes. If you only have 15 minutes, then you can reduce 15 minutes. But pick something you know you can do every day. And ideally, same time every day. When is the best time? First thing in the morning. The musician should tune their instrument before they play. They should warm up before they play. Sports player warms up before they play. In the same way, by taking that time first thing to clean your body, heart, and mind, to awaken your body, heart, and mind, to connect yourself, to be at home within yourself, to feel yourself, to listen, to do some journaling. You know, this is also really beautiful for that clarity and taking out the trash, and then live your day and see if it makes a difference. I'm sure that the sports players that warm up are playing at a higher level. There's no question. And so, 100 days of practice, because the point of the practice is not the practice. The point of the practice, through the practice, we're filtering that essence, we're cleansing, we're cleaning, we're tuning, we're organizing. But the purpose of the practice is for daily life, our rhythm, our aliveness, our relationships. So the way you know the yoga is working, the way you know the meditation is working, is not because you become good at yoga. This is the ego. Only the ego wants to do the show, perform. The way you know is because when you're not doing the yoga, you feel more connected, more creative, more at ease, sleep better, make better decisions, like that. It's the kind of clarity. It's about your life. Yoga is the coming home into yourself. It's not about the yoga. So, very clearly, over 100 days, you'll know if there's any benefit. And then you can continue. Because the practice is like brushing your teeth. You got to do it. You brush your teeth every day. You wash your clothes every day. But that's just on the surface. So if we take time to clean our bodies, hearts, and minds, to open, to awaken, to connect, then it's like a new life. It's completely different. Like someone who's can't play the sport, and then you learn and you train, and then you can play. It's like a completely different, everything shifts. And so definitely it's worth a try. If it works, it's a miracle. If we can be more alive, more present, more authentic, kinder to ourselves, especially in our minds. We have to understand, no amount of making ourselves wrong will make ourselves right. Impossible. Impossible. By being wrong now, that we're going to be right in the future. It's impossible. So whatever this ideal form of ourself is a false. You have to kill it. Some questions today. Question 1. How do you make space for yourself when it feels like everyone takes it and you let them? So first thing, and this goes for everything, is you have to tune yourself. You have to tune your instrument every day. A musician tunes their instrument every day because it just goes out of tune, right? And so first is to have that time, ideally early in the morning, right? It depends on how you're living, what the circumstances are, but for sure, people usually don't wake up super early. So if you get up early, you could have a half hour, an hour, maybe even 2 hours before other people are awake. You live a whole nother lifetime, right? So early morning hour is a sacred time. This is really the most powerful time. The yogis are always up by 3 or 4 because all the humans are sleeping, all the conflict and trouble and problems in the mind, the animals, the planets. It's a very settled time, very good for meditation, for creativity. So that early morning time is the best time. Early morning time, you have your time. In that time, you tune yourself. This is a sacred time for yourself. You have to have a space for that. Right? So you have your space, your cushion, your mat, whatever it is, a place. It's a place you go. Like you have something you can take with you. You have a space. This is for sacred space, your sacred space. And then in that space, you're tuning. And again, the practice of yoga should not be a practice of making yourself not good enough. That's not correct. Not correct. That is not yoga. So the practice itself is the kind of love. That's why we have a simple practice that we're charging ourselves, our nervous system with the prana, with the breath, with the vibration, with the love. And then learning how, when we feel that uncomfortableness, the resistance, to stay present and then observe as it releases. Now this is a full recalibration of your nervous system, like a massage and tuning. So just see it like a tuning. Like a tuning. To call it yoga, then we start thinking yoga thoughts. So daily practice in the morning, and so you have that time already. Once you've done it 20, 30, 40, 50 times, then you have this at-homeness in yourself. You naturally will start to do the things to make the space for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you can't disrespect. When you're in tune with yourself, it's very difficult to disrespect yourself. When I don't know, and I'm confused, I don't know what I should do, then it's very easy to do things that are out of alignment with yourself. Very difficult to do things that are in alignment with yourself. You have to keep thinking. But when you have that in-tuneness, that presence, then to go against your nature is very difficult. And so the life will take shape around you and your intention also. Right? When you have that deep presence, then the life around you will orbit around that. Because that trumps all the emotions and fear. All this is a very low vibration, but that vibration of presence is so deep that everything around it then starts to shift. And so it's just simple. Just take time each day to be present, to make that space. And then, great, a few times a week we can schedule time, go walk in the forest without a phone, take a camping hammock or something, a journal, a book, or just nothing at all. Take nothing. Just go and just like this. There's so many opportunities we have, infinite opportunities. And then eventually, this infinite space everywhere. Even in the tightest moment, there's infinite space. Even in the tightest atom, there's infinite space. So once we become really adept, then there's infinite space everywhere. In the meantime, we have to tune ourselves, and as we become more and more in tune, then it becomes more natural to set our boundaries. Because our boundaries, it's not a problem for the other, right? It's the boundary is helping both people. Right? Because if we let people step over our boundaries, this isn't helping a relationship. So the boundaries, it becomes natural to be yourself. Natural to be yourself means you're not thinking about being yourself. How do you grieve? I don't know how. If there's something to grieve, you have to grieve. But if you don't have anything to grieve, then no need to grieve. If something is stuck in the past. Right? Grieving, if something is stuck, then we have to move it. If inside of something is stuck, some emotion or some thought. But we don't want to get caught in a whirlpool of grief, because grief comes partly from a misunderstanding about death, life and death. Right? We all have so much fear about death, and we have this injustice in life and everything. And so now death is wrong, death is evil, death is bad, death is over there. But as a result, life and death are one thing. They're two sides of one thing. And so by rejecting death, we're also rejecting life. And we're living in this kind of this like anesthetized, safe story. And certain things challenge that story. Crisis, death, like that. And then like that, and so then we can get caught in a grief, but it's the life is here and now. So whatever is keeping us attached to the past, we have to cut. We have to let that go. We have to digest it. If something is stuck, we have to unpack it. Maybe there's something to learn. We haven't learned our lesson from a certain situation. Because we can grieve the passing of a family, we can grieve we can grieve a job. There are many things we can grieve, but it's always something in the past. It's somehow connected with it can be connected with regret. But we'll be full of regrets if you're not yourself. And this is the thing, that life is now. Life is happening here and now. So if you keep missing here and now, then that will be the regret. So why grief? Grief is only to cleanse us so we can live here and now, because life is now. It's like the game. They blow the whistle, the game starts. Now is the game time. So that whistle is right now, right? This very moment is now. Now is the game time. And so in this game, if you're thinking about the last game or the next game, you're going to get tripped up. And so it's really this radical recalibration of life is here and now. not over there in the future or the past. Because again, what is the past is my idea of the past, my preferences, my judgments. It's not the past. My past is not the past. My future is not the future. Otherwise, we could take a detour and end up lifetimes from now, right? So we must keep bringing ourselves back to the present moment in a radical way. The present moment is completely pure. Nothing, none of the successes or failures, none of the stories from the past. It's like a dream. Where does that dream carry? Does the one dream carry to the next? What's the space between two dreams? In the same way, all of the life stories, then everything is part of you. The whole universe is part of you, each and every moment. And so you're totally free, totally pure. And there's nothing like to fix or something. There's no fixing or changing or editing or from the past or the future. None of that will make you any more yourself. So what we need is to pierce through to the depths, to the core, at that very deep core level, the essence level. And we have that connection with yourself. But yourself is not a story. It's not a picture of yourself. It's not a person. Yourself is not a person. It's the aliveness. Yourself is like the sunlight. Yourself is like the fire dancing. You're pure and natural. But it's not like a story about your name and this little person who's, because we can, life, How do you process betrayal? How do you let it go from your body? So whatever food you eat, you need to digest it. This is important. Even a good food or bad food, if you don't digest it, then it becomes like a poison inside. Even the good food. Everything needs to be digested because most of the food is waste. Very little of the food is essence, is needed. Most of everything we eat is waste. It has to be released. In the same way, our life experience, we have to digest that and turn that into the power, turn that into energy. Otherwise, if it gets stuck, if something gets stuck, then it becomes like a kind of a blockage. And then we get stuck. And so, betrayal. Yeah, I think journaling, sharing, active listening, all these kind of things. Like, it depends on if you have to deal with content. If there's something content around the people, the situation, or your own patterns, or, we can unpack the content. That's one thing. But then the other is just releasing it from the system. Dancing, shaking, steam, cold bath, acupuncture, right? All of these things. Go into the forest, swim in the ocean. These things, anyway, we need to do that, this cleansing, because we're betraying ourselves all the time. There's so much, and we're watching on TV such negative things of everything. There's so much negativity, and really that seems to be the only pattern, is like lying and cheating and stealing and ego and everything. And so that's why daily, wear your clothes, you clean your clothes. You have to clean your mind every day. You have to clean your heart every day. You have to clean your cells and your biology every day. And then even the more difficult things to digest, you can digest. The only option is we learn from it. We learn from it and then move forward. Because then if this takes our win, takes our power, then we've lost twice. We've double lost. We double give. So the betrayal is the betrayal, but then from that, we take that and turn it into the power. Everything we have to take and turn into power. And this is why we do the daily practice too, so we can train our nervous system not to give up when we feel resistance. Usually we feel a little resistance, immediately we give up. So when you're holding the posture, it's not about performing the posture, it's that maintain your center, despite the posture. Despite this uncomfortableness, despite the resistance, stay centered, stay stable, and be at ease. Keep your focus, keep breathing. Whatever has happened, we have to digest it, all of it. We have to digest it all. Turn it into compost. Because the life is happening here. The garden is growing every moment. So, what seeds do you want to plant in your garden? With your thoughts, you're planting the seeds. So, are we always thinking about the past and the negative situations, everything? Then that's what we're watering in our garden. So, more and more, we have to shift our attention from the past into the present moment. And eventually it becomes habit to be present. Because for sure, this is the only possibility, is now in the game, this moment, to score, to shoot, to enjoy, to dance. It's now. But we've been sacrificing now for some idea about the future, some story. We've been told it's good, just around the corner. If you do this and this and that, and you try hard enough, then you'll get there. And there we'll be happy, we'll be peaceful, everything. But as far as I can tell, no one has made it. Not a single person. It's never enough. Because all we know is not enough. We've been training ourselves, not enough. This moment's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's over there. So even if we were to make it, all we know is not enough. So that's why we say train enough. Train the state of enoughness. Enough means nothing is missing. Nothing to fix in the whole universe. Not just myself. Then you can be at home. Then you can be yourself. But you can never be that ideal in the future. You can never be that. Even if you're trying. How do you get your life energy to increase? The kind of energy that doesn't come from food and rest. The yin, chi, spirit energy, chakra energy, yes. Yeah, the good stuff. So, this is through this daily tuning practice, right? So one part is the movement, breath, and stillness. This is essential because then it's like the antenna, the receptors, the spine, we have the capacity to absorb the energy and then store it. Usually we get energy, immediately spill it out. Blah, 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 talking and running around and doing everything. We just immediately lose the energy, like a bucket with holes. The water comes in, immediately comes out. So first we have to learn how to close the holes, contain the energy, circulate the energy, store the energy. It's very natural. It's not like reading in a textbook. This will make you receptive. But then to get the energy, be in nature. Go into nature. By the waterfall, the forest, the trees, they're all buzzing with that prana. They're buzzing. They're buzzing with the love, with the chi, with the yin. Sunbathing, forest bathing, expose your skin to the air. We're poisoning our skin all the time with the chemical clothing, chemical bedding. And our skin is never breathing, never with the air, with the sunlight, with the moonlight. So this is really important to get the energy. Steam, the hot and cold therapy, steam and sauna, steam and cold plunge. couple times a week for sure. Acupuncture definitely will awaken that energy. You have the secret power stored in your glands. So through some of this alchemy practices of yoga, we can activate all these dopamine and this, but also some very powerful, blissful substances. Clothing, also, wear natural clothing. There's 2 fabrics which have the highest vibration. I don't know what the scale is, and they measured all the fabrics, and all of them are around between 0 and 100, right? But there's 2 fabrics that are at 10,000, like just completely off the scale. And they're biblical fabrics. One is wool, and the other is linen from flax. So wearing natural clothing is really good. But then wearing like precious metals also, working with metals and the gemstones and the seeds and the powders and this kind of thing. This is also cleansing, purifying the subtle body. Because one thing is getting the energy, the other is also not losing it, right? And so we're losing a lot of energy with the worry and with different ways of thinking and desire, everything. So overall, it's a general tuning. But it's connected with the food and rest too. We need to rest. And it's fasting. If you want to get the real power, fast. Fast for 3 to 5 days. Then you have the real power, clarity, your senses become very strong. Your intuition, your listening becomes very sharp. Very safe to do 3 to 5 days on like a coconut fast or watermelon fast or apple fast. I wouldn't do water fasting for that long. But to pick one and just eat as much as you want. Drink as many coconuts as you want for 5 days. No other solid food, just water. Flush your body with water, with coconut, take some laxative or do colonic, get some massage, and just like a complete flush your system. Because our digestive system is so compromised. We have to clean our intestines, and we have to fasting, all this kind of thing to really absorb a bit more energy from life. And then you can eat fruit, eat a delicious, beautiful, wonderful fruit. Be surrounded by people who are in their hearts and not angry and confused all the time. Now, many things we can do, and this is part of the rhythm of life. And it's not a spiritual life. Everyone always asks this. There's no 2 lives. There's no spiritual and non-spiritual life. There's just one life. And so to be alive, to be deeply alive, this is the nourishment. It's not just the food we eat that is the nourishment, but heartfelt connection, the beauty in the nature, the vibration is the nourishment, the sunlight. All of these things are essential nourishment to be alive, to be at home alive. Question: how do you keep a practice of awakening when your partner family is unaware and resistant to your growth? Yeah, do it in secret. Do it secret. We should anyway. Our practice we should keep a secret. We don't need to tell anyone. Like a ninja. It's really it's because it's very intimate also. It's not about proving anything. That's the thing. We have to be very clear. The practice is not to prove anything to anyone. It's just to be yourself, just to be in tune with yourself. And so, best that we keep it a secret. We do our practice in the morning, early morning. And then you do your practice, you take notes, keep a journal, and then forget about it. And then again you do it. Like you brush your teeth, you forget about it. The practice keeps working throughout the day. It's not like, oh, it's like done. No, that's just, you're just keeping this momentum going in this inner cleansing, connection, activation. You see? It's not like, oh, I gotta practice. It's like you have to live it. It's not about living it, it's living yourself. You have to live yourself. You have to be yourself in the daily life That is the fruition of yoga. And that it's not like to be yourself means not a temporary version. It's not like I'm waiting for the better version. Eventually the better version is going to come. That in this moment, you're fully yourself. Since we were in the womb, the moment you're born, you're fully yourself. Every moment of life, you've fully been yourself. And this moment also. And of course you'll evolve. Everything is continuing to evolve. But this moment is perfect. If we make this moment wrong, then every moment will be wrong, because none of them can be right. If this moment is wrong, then none of them can be right. Dealing with grief. Okay, deal with the grief. Deal with the grief part of the day, then the other part, deal with joy. You have to schedule it. Deal with some joy. What do we want to tune ourselves with? The grief is there, okay. There's things we have to grieve. We can do it. There's 24 hours in a day. So, even with the grief, we don't need to define ourselves. This is the thing. Also, sometimes sadness is arising. Like you have a day, sometimes it's cloudy, partly cloudy, sometimes rainy, storm, anything. But then it's gone. Maybe it comes back, but then it's gone. So don't make an identity. Don't make because even the grief, the sadness is not every moment. Right? It's not, you're not that. There's waves passing through you. And as we strengthen our nervous system and clean and purify, then we can transform that into other things, like this joy. And so we have to find, even in the depths of the grief, right, to find those things that bring a real joy. And again, grief is, there's different variations depending. It could be the death of a loved one, or it could be a terrible situation. Right? There are many different things. But the point is that even within all of that, for sure there are some things that touch our soul deeply. It could be spending time with an animal, like massaging an animal, getting a massage, walking in nature, these kinds of things, singing. And you have to schedule, and then you force, because we need to tune ourselves with the joy, with peace. We're very much in tune with the negativity, complaining, all the problems. We know immediately. We recognize very quickly so many problems, but very difficult for us to see beauty, very difficult to see love. So we have to go through a process of tuning. We have to plant those seeds and water them in the garden. And so we have a big garden. There's grief in your garden, okay. But plant some other flowers too. Plant some other seeds and water those seeds. It's not disrespectful to your grief. No, the grief will dance nicely with the joy. The grief and joy dancing together. When I meditate, I often have a clean white plane in front of my mind. This will last for a long time. How do I avoid getting bored? No, that sounds really good. That clean white plane is good. Is good, and don't avoid it. Get bored. Get so fucking bored that you just drop everything. The only way is through the boredom. We're trying to avoid the boredom. We want to avoid and distract ourselves. And so the boredom is a threshold. At first, when meditating, there's meditation is a bit like a rocket ship blasting off into outer space. Okay, it requires a tremendous amount of fuel to pierce through the different layers of the atmosphere before you can leave the gravitational field of the earth and then be free. So also the ego has a very strong gravitational field, and unless you have sufficient energy, then you're going to get caught on the way up. And so that comes in the form of 1, sleepiness, 2, dreaminess, 3, restlessness, 4, boredom. And so that's the path. Nothing's wrong. That's the path. Just keep going. Eventually, the energy builds up and it will pierce through the layers. But it shouldn't be an issue, because we're only meditating like 20, 30 minutes. If it's an hour or two, right, then it's more challenging. But to be bored for a few minutes is good, because the boredom, it changes your cellular, your breath, the pressure. There's something, we're all the time trying to get somewhere, but we can never get there. And so, in order to be here, that urge to get, it needs to die off. And so it comes through this restlessness and boredom, these things, but it's not a problem. Boredom is not a problem. Just on the other side of boredom is infinite power, is the infinite wisdom. I started to accept that I can't fix the family relationships that don't work. But how do I interact with these relatives? Any advice? Yeah. Tune yourself again and again every day. Like a sports player. It's like, wow, the team is really difficult, and how do I do it? You have your training. You've been training for years. You trust your training. You know how to play. So like this, in the same way, you have to do your daily practice and train, be grounded in yourself. Then each situation, you'll know how to respond. It's not a prefixed rules or something like this. But when you're at home within yourself, in tune with yourself, then naturally, spontaneously, you're able to respond to the life situation without reacting. But if you're out of tune with yourself and your nervous system's all fried, and you don't have, you're not creating a sacred space, and you don't have a rhythm in your life, and the mind is nonstop, then it's in what to do. What to do? It's really 99% of the challenge comes from being out of tune. Because if we're out of tune, how do we even interact with ourselves? Then all day, just to be with ourselves, let alone be with the relatives. To be in our own minds, the things that we say. So, you see, there's no escape. So, this tuning is a very subtle level. It's like a vibration, a pressure, a rhythm, like this. And so, gradually you can feel that. You have to know the feeling of being in tune. And that's all. There's no requirement of being able to explain your life to someone else. And for them, to approve you or something like that. Nothing like that. There's nothing about knowing oneself that has anything to do with like having all the answers about the future or the past or anything like that. Really, the only way to be yourself is to not think about yourself. Please explain neti-neti from your book. Neti-neti is one of the teachings, a way of working with the non-duality. Because often we think, for example, some situation, is it good or is it bad? Right? And it's going to be one of them. Everything is this judgment. Judgment is duality. Is it beautiful or ugly? Is it right or wrong? You see, this is two. This is duality. And so they say that it's neither. It's neither. It's never one or the other. It can't be. This is the duality, but our mind is caught in duality. We're labeling everything good and bad according to ourselves. We're at the center, and as it relates to us, then it's good. As it relates to my ideas, it's good. What is good? What is bad is as it relates to me. Every individual is in that same. So it's relative. This is what we call relative. And so the neti-neti practice means not this, not that. So all the time we get stuck, should I date this guy or not? Should I go to the school or not? And so the neti-neti practice, and then we get caught and we start spinning, weighing the pros and cons, and then start spinning them. And so neti-neti is a practice to get out of that. Say, it's a neither. It's not this, it's not that. It's not going, it's not going. Then it creates a space. In that space you can be clear. So the key to making decision is to forget about it. Don't think about it and try to tear it apart and dissect it and everything. For a moment, just forget, be totally quiet and just listen. Listen in your body. You feel something, you feel like a expansiveness, like a yes or a contraction and no. Just to be quiet and feel, because deep down we already know the answer. Always we know. Always we already know. And so the key is to be quiet and tune in with that knowing. And if that knowing doesn't come, then it means you just have to wait. It's not ready. Some seeds aren't sprouting. You can't rip it out of the seed. So sometimes we can't make the decision yet. So we shouldn't force ourselves if we don't have that inner clarity. But it's shifting from the thinking to the intuition, to the heart, to the deeper knowing. We have to practice that and learn to trust that and listen to that, and then that will be a tremendous resource in the daily life. So neti-neti, not this, not that. It's like a thorn. You have a thorn in your foot. You need another thorn to pull it out. Neti-neti is a thorn to pull out the other thorn. In one of your books, you speak about moving the I in all we do, removing the I in all we do. How can this be applied practically in life? Well, you don't think. In the action, there's no thinking. Right? There's no thinking. Then it's a spontaneous and natural. This doesn't mean that one is never thinking. Thinking arises spontaneously as well. At times we need to organize, we need to remember all of this. What I'm talking about is this continual, heavy, mechanical, just like regurgitation of stuck in the pattern, like that thinking, right? Of course, we don't eliminate all thinking, we stick our head in the ground, right? No, but it's a question of this spontaneous flow, this effortless mastery, like the sports players, right? It's like when you're so present in the flow, then all of life is dancing together. You see, it's not about me. It's I'm part of the bigger dance. And so in that perspective, the I. We have the two I's, the I, the false I, and the real I, or the I story, the story we tell about ourselves, and then this aliveness which is moving and breathing within you. And so when we say remove the I, we're talking about the story, these little pieces of a story that we've painted that when that I is gone, then the I of life is spontaneously, naturally moving and flowing. The same way that it is dancing in the tree and is dancing in the insects and the fish, all of that. It's that I, when we say oneness, that's the oneness. That aliveness in everything, that is what we call the true self. And so that is the oneness. Okay, lightning round. How can we foster more love within ourselves, for all humans, for all life? Tune yourself, keep yourself in tune. Is there a difference between men and women when it comes to spirituality? Also, do they have different balance of sun and moon energy? At a surface level, there's a difference. At the deep level, there's no difference. Right, here is a negative and positive pole for the man. The women, it's the opposite. This is negative, this is positive, and like a battery, something like this. And so there's a mirroring and an inflection, and then within us we have both. We have this that union within us as well. And so is there a difference? The spirit has no gender. The soul has no gender. The self has no gender. So if this is what we mean by spirituality, then there's no difference. But in terms of the path, in terms of the life, in terms of the hormones and the giving birth and the different way that we live our life, yeah, big difference. Big difference. Different balance of the sun-moon energy. Yeah, we want to respect the woman and the womanhood and respect the man and the manhood. Now everything's very mixed and the lines are very blurry and everything is very confused. So somehow we can, and we have to totally be ourselves. Each person should totally be themselves. But at the same time, there's a, not just humans, but all of the species have the male and female, and this is a, and that we respect each one for what it is, and the beauty and power and wisdom of each one. And not that it's like there's some fixed lines or anything, but the fact that nowadays we see the raising our children and educating as something inferior work, something everything is so twisted. If there is no purpose or meaning, how do I choose a line of work? Especially because I want to develop my potential and serve others. So because there's no purpose or meaning, then you're free. So you also have many different things that have happened in your life which are guiding your life. And so you can't not do anything. Right? Some people are like, oh, nothing, then do nothing. Impossible, impossible. You can't do it. So anyway, you're going to do something. So when you're grounded in yourself, right, this understanding about that there's no ultimate meaning, there's no ultimate purpose, is to allow you to be more present in yourself. Without all the stories, oh, I should be like this, I have to do this, I need this, right? When we have all those stories, then how can you ever be present? You can never be present. So first we have to remove all the stories, then you can be present, then naturally you will find your way into a way of life that's good for you, right? You can contribute to the world, you have things, you can serve others, you have enough for yourself. Now everybody, it's like the life has been for the purpose of the career. But there are many other ways that we can live and express ourselves and contribute to the world and frame our journey here in the world as well. And so, so these teachings are to empower you to be able to have the freedom to choose what's right for you. Question: why do people blame me? If I would do that, then they could be happy. What can I do in such a situation? Yeah, so we're always projecting on the other, like the source of our happiness or unhappiness. And it's difficult to take responsibility for ourselves. And so this is part of the spiritual path, is this taking responsibility. And so every day we clean our bodies, hearts, and minds through the practice, we in the mirror, and then we, and so over time, sometimes it's a small thing. Sometimes we can do, sometimes someone's suffering. Even we have something with them and we get this, someone's suffering, then they need something, we can give them what they need. We can do it. If we can't, then we have to say that we can and express that. And as we start to assert our boundaries and to give what we can and to have compassion and all of these things, then energetically, whatever that tension is, will release. Or if it builds up, then that's a sign. Maybe we have to walk away from relation, or for a period of time, or for longer. So it's we need to be sincere and authentic, and in any way we can help, we should try to help. If we have the energy or power to help someone, we should help them, because people are struggling, really. But then, if people don't take responsibility for themselves, then what can we do, right? If they're always blaming, if you just want to blame for all their problems, then we have to set boundaries to take space. If I behave like I want to, then I'm going to hurt people who love me. But if I don't, I have to hold myself back. What can I do? Sometimes sometimes our way of life is coming from a deep level. Sometimes it's a desire. Sometimes it's a desire, a reaction, something. So that's why we recommend to take the time to tune yourself and to really know what it is to be in tune, to really, really be in tune. And then, in general, our actions are not hurting those around us. If we're in tune and our actions are hurting those around us, it's because then they have some unreasonable rules or expectations that they're projecting onto us, right? And so if that's the case, then we have to try to have a conversation with those people and understand about why it's hurting them. Because if the people around you love you, then they want you to be yourself, and they should be happy when they see you joyful and they see you at home in yourself. So we can. Again, the first thing is you have to establish that in tune. That's the most difficult part. After that, everything else is flow. All right, last two. How do you view the link between us as spiritual beings and emotional beings? Are they, in your view, linked? So again, for me, it's just one being. The one being has many different aspects or natures, but as soon as we start being different beings, it becomes really tricky. And for me, spiritual, it just means to be alive. And so spiritual includes the mental, the emotional, the physical. It includes the family life, the fun life, the crazy life, the work life, the study life, all of those lives, all of the lives, all of the families, everything is included in the spiritual. We don't even need to use the word spiritual, because it's just a life, in the one life. Everything is included in the one life. And what we need is integration, wholeness. We can't neglect any aspects of ourselves. And so everything is linked. Everything is linked. This is the yoga. This is the integration, the wholeness. What advice would you give a person who is always pessimistic to find happiness? Yeah, this is a habit of the mind, like a certain tuning, like you tune a certain radio channel. So, yeah. My suggestion is, one, daily practice, right? And not just the movement, breath, stillness, but add things that bring you joy. Simple joy, simple moment, like walk in nature, journaling, swimming, massage, authentic connection, some creative expression, right? Find things, you have to investigate and find things that you enjoy. Maybe it's cooking food, maybe it's growing food, maybe, so many things. Find things, several activities and things that really make you feel alive. And then little by little cultivate that aliveness. That aliveness will overpower the pessimism. It's like the light. When the light comes, the darkness is gone. So as we charge, as we focus on those things that bring us joy and make us feel alive, simple things, little simple things that we can fill our days with. We can have hundreds of little simple moments of beauty, hundreds of simple little moments of gratitude, of love every day. And then that is tastier than the pessimism. Because anyway, we're all going to die. Everyone's going to die. Everything that we have, we're going to lose. Everything that we build is going to be destroyed. Everything. So we have to choose how we tune ourselves. Amma would say that joyfulness is a choice. Smiling is a choice. Enough of questions. Let's again be silent just for a moment. Take a moment to come back to center. Ready position. Sit up. Lengthen your spine. Open your shoulders. Center yourself in your heart. Close your eyes. Look up. Breathe slow. Slow down your breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Be at home within yourself. This is the highest state of realization. To be at home in yourself is the happiness. To be at home in yourself is peace. To be at home in yourself is love. To be at home in yourself is service. When you are at home in yourself, you give those around you permission to be at home in themselves. Inhale deeply. Oh.